This will enable them, by the way,
Hello, hello, hello,
healthy
everyone.
themselves
Greetings,
financially,
peace,
economically, spiritually.
salam.
Everything about them
One piece of
will be
the residential
healthy, and
tours
this will
going on
all
here.
start from the
You
mind.
guys have asked us to go
So this
live
is
from
a
Ikawa
community that
Cafe and
we,
show some of the
a group of people
activities
that
that
are
we
born in
have
this community. So
going
just
on.
give
So
each and
today we
every one
have
a minute capacity.
the
By
a
the way,
group
30
of
seconds.
young
That's it.
individuals
Amen. Amen.
um, called
So
the
people will
Recast
know
Hub.
the
They
great
put
tomorrow.
together an event called the Recast Hub, where they're trying to get
Thank you so much.
younger Rwandese to
I hope
come
you
pretty
everybody.
much
Thank
to
you so much for
Ikawa to make
coming.
this their
My name
home,
is
but
Ikawa.
also to build, to fellowship, to
Thank you
have
so much.
healthier lifestyles. Um,
Hi, my
and
name is
so
Mrs.
I'm going to show
Cherish,
you what
and
they've
I'm
done so
from
far,
District 2.
and also to show you guys. You want to see what your donations are going to. Many of you are supporters of Ikawa Cafe. You guys donate to us all the time, help us stay open. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering. Help us to stay open, help us to continue to grow and be a pillar in this community and to support this community. So this is one of the activities that we do. We allow the younger generation to come in and express themselves artistically, spiritually, musically, whichever way positive that they can do or they want to do, we allow them to do it.
Thank you.
So I want to show you what this young group has done. They're called the Seed. I think they're called the Seed, and they just blew us away. So I'm gonna let you see what they're doing.
So I'll ask you to take the seats
So this is
as
Ikawa
they clap for
Cafe.
you.
It's going to be a little different here at
Yes, thank
nighttime, but they
you.
have all
Thank
these
you,
lights
everyone.
going on.
I would like to,
They did
before
a
I
little
give back the mic to
step and
the MC
repeat
of the
with red
day, I'd like
carpet.
to also
We
take this
have a
privilege to
world-renowned singer,
recognize some
not
people who
world-renowned,
have
but
really
Rwanda, very
supported
famous
us
singer in
right
here.
from the first day.
I don't remember how to
And I
say her
would
name,
like to
so I have to let
thank,
someone else
first of
do it.
all,
But I'm going to bring you
Mr.
in.
Mohammed
This is our
and
step
Mr.
and repeat.
Mohammed, who have given us
Oh,
this
Lord, they're
beautiful
calling my
venue you
name.
can see. Yes. We'd like to thank him. He's the man. Please clap him. Clap for him again.
As you see,
Thank
they
you very
have
much.
totally
We're also glad
Ikawa.
to have Mr. Gabriel and Mrs. Janine, who have also supported us from the first day. Please, a round of applause for them. Thank you very much. Please have a seat. Yes. So I thank each and every one of you who has managed to come to this place. Please clap hands for yourselves. So I will therefore hand the mic back to the MC, and I ask each one of you to feel at home, to feel comfortable. Yes.
We've done karaoke.
Thank you, Philip. By the way, I'm your MC tonight. And I'm Cherish, and we're going to have fun, you guys. You're like, now let's do something that is youthy, so that our elders here could also, feel the vibe. Is that okay? Yes. Yeah. So I am going to invite our lovely Mr. Muhammad to come and share something. He's the owner of this place, you guys. So beautiful, right? I think when we go back, we're going to invite people to come in this place, to come and have fun, to come and eat here. Yes? Yes, they're invited. Well, welcome. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you so very much. I wish I could take full credit for ownership, but my beloved wife is the better half of myself. So we're on behalf of Ikawa Cafe, we are extremely humbled, privileged, and honored to be able to host this august body of individuals in this wonderful occasion. It's a wonderful occasion where such great, brilliant young minds can come together on one accord with aim, with purpose, and with vision. We are so impressed. My wife and I, the Ikawa Cafe team, are so thoroughly impressed with, from the beginning stages of the thought to the full manifestation of what we are seeing and witnessing and experiencing at this very moment. And I met Kelly several months ago, and from the moment I met this young man, I was thoroughly impressed. And they say birds of a feather, they flock together. And so as I look at Kelly, I see Sheris, I see Philip, and Angelo, and Peter, and Denise, and the young lady. Give me your name again. Yes. All of them are great, brilliant minds. And I sat back and I watched because I'm not old. I'm older, but sometimes as older ones, we tend to get in the way sometimes of these young ones. All we have to do is just give them their lane and support them. And this is the manifestation if we just support. And I did not interfere. My wife didn't interfere. I made sure the staff did not interfere when they came to sit and to organize and plan. And it was just a beautiful thing to watch, to see how they strategically, methodically put this thing together. And I'm looking forward so much to not just today, but what comes after today. And I'll say this, and I'll be done. We often tend to say that the youth are the future leaders. But a fellow expat reminded me and said, no, they're not the future leaders, they're the present leaders. The future leaders are not yet born yet. So these are the ones who are trailblazing, sparking the way. My wife and I, when we came to Rwanda and we were looking to come, one of the foremost appealing points was the leadership. The leadership, the vision of the governmental structure and the government. And the question is, what will happen when this time is up? We're looking at it. We're looking at it right here in this room. So the future of Rwanda is bright. It's bright. So thank you for coming to Ikawa Cafe. Thank you, Recast Hub, for choosing us for this premiere. And we are right in on full speed ahead. Peace and blessings.
Louder, please. Yeah, we can add on some shouting. Yeah. Woo! Let's try it out. Perfect. So we're not just here to talk, but also to enjoy. We're gonna enjoy someone who sings perfectly, you guys. Okay, perfect. They say people are not perfect, but some people sing and then you're like, should I say they're perfect? Will that be right or wrong? So we're going to invite this person. We want to be lively. If you can stand up, if you can jump, and we invite sing! Come on stage! Stand up, you guys. Let's stand up.
Okay.
Young people.
He is the performer.
Yeah, this is very awkward. It's the older people that are standing. They're going to be inviting again. Let's welcome Sing on the stage! Yeah, you can sit or stand. I'm just going to stand.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm so happy to be here. My name is C. Yes, but originally my name is Patrick Chuzuzo. Yes, born and raised in Rwanda. And I am a gospel and inspirational artist. And I'm just a young man passionate about youth transformation and mental health and the rise of Christ-centered youth. Yes. So I didn't prepare so much because I was informed just one day before this. So allow me to just hope you enjoy the music and a lot about Christ actually. Because I believe that youth, if we really want to change the world and if we really want true transformation, first we need to work on our spiritual lives. Because our spiritual lives come to our mental health. Because it gives us a sense of peace. Yes. So I hope you can enjoy this. Bless you. Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus come about, and I ain't gonna fall up. Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus come about, and I ain't gonna fall up. Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus come about, and I ain't gonna fall. Yeah, I'm telling you about this man who loves me. When I was down, he came and picked me up. From the dust, from the ashes, he washed me. And he wiped and he cleaned the face. And I'm telling you about the victor who won for me, who won for me. From nothing to everything, from nowhere to someone, from nowhere to someone, from no place to the top. Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus coming back. They ain't gonna fold around. Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side. Hey, 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 I've got Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus come up, they ain't gonna fall. I've got Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus come up, and they ain't gonna fall. I've got Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus come up, and they ain't gonna fall. Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus come up, and they ain't gonna fall. I've got Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, yeah. Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, and it ain't gonna fall, yeah. Promise that when the sun goes down, he'll be there for you. In the valley of death, you shall not fear. You see, every time I feel so down, I just go on my knees and pray. I just tell the Lord to save me, cause I know I'm not able to defeat on my own, but He's always there for me, yeah. He's always there for me, yeah. He's always there, He's always there. Oh, 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 oh. I've got Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus come about, and He ain't gonna fall up. Jesus, 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 He's coming back, and He ain't gonna fall up. Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus coming back, and He ain't gonna fall up. Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus coming back, Jesus on my, Jesus on my, Jesus on my, Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side, Jesus on my side.
Go ahead.
I love you, Lord, for your mercy never fails. All my days, I've been held in your arms. From the moment that I wake up till I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God. All my life, you have been there. All my life, you have been so, so good. With every breath that I
and he has a great voice, right? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so I feel like you guys are cool. So we're gonna stand up and play something. I don't think he's gonna kill me, but we're gonna play a little game to get you guys started. Yes? Stand up, please. Stand up. Stand up. Yeah? Are you okay with standing up? Awesome. So we're going to play a little game that is called Simon Says. Simon Says. So I'm going to say, Simon says, touch your head, and you touch your head. Yeah? So you're going to be eyes of your neighbor. If your neighbor fails, just tell them to see. So Simon says, touch your head, you touch your head.
So we just
But
wanted to
if I
give
say
you a
touch your
little
head only without saying
snippet
Simon,
of what's going
then
on
you don't do it.
here
You
at
say
Ikawa
what you are.
Cafe
So if I say, let's try it out.
with this
Simon says,
amazing
touch
group
your
of
head.
people.
You touch your head, yes.
The
Simon
community
says,
of
touch your
Rwanda,
shoulders.
they are
Simon
here.
says, touch your.
These are the youth under
head.
25,
Okay. Touch your shoulders.
between 20 and 25.
Yeah, you're out. Everyone is out.
And
Literally. If I
they
just
are
say
here.
touch your
And what they're
shoulders,
doing
then you
is they're
just
networking.
stay where you're at.
They're trying to
Yeah?
find their way.
Did
They're
we get it?
trying to find
Is it okay now? Please
create
let some people
businesses
see.
with each
Okay?
other.
Tell them to see.
They're networking with each
With
other.
all that
They
you've got,
are,
tell them to see. Right?
here
Okay, let's do this again.
trying to
But
find a
you should
place
also
where they
not
could
do
just
what
have
I'm
a
doing with my
voice.
hands, 'cause I might lead you to the wrong
This is
direction.
what they told
So
us.
if
Where
I
they could
say
have a
someone
voice,
says touch
an
your head,
independent way of thinking and
will you do
developing
this?
of what they want to do with the
No,
rest of their
no,
lives
just-
and how they can be an impact in
Okay,
Rwanda and how they
let's
can
warm
build
up.
a future here. So we
Okay, let's
are
do
being a
this.
part
Simon
of that.
says touch your waist.
And again, just wanted you guys to see
Thank you so much. Okay,
what,
this is a
what we're
trial.
doing
Let's
out
do
here.
this
You
one
know,
more
a lot
time.
of people have asked, what are y'all doing at Ikawa Cafe? How's it going?
Yeah?
You've made
Yeah?
donations. You didn't
Yeah.
get to see
Simon
if we're
says touch
still
your
here,
stomach.
and we are. We're still here. We're still building. We're still trying
Simon
to
says
make
touch
things
your
happen.
head.
Isn't this beautiful?
Simon says touch your belly.
This is what they've
It's
done.
still a stomach,
They
you guys.
came out and
I'm
made
just gonna change the
some,
words so that you get confused.
I don't know. But
Simon
it's pretty.
says touch your head.
So
Simon says touch your waist.
we'll go and
Touch your
see
head.
some more of the activities
Yes. See,
after they get
all
done
of
playing.
you.
Simon
Everybody's
says.
literally about to see. Okay, who are the
Let me see
winners?
if I can get Mr. Muhammad to come.
I think yes. Who else here? There's a loser here. Are you sure? Okay. Simon says, touch your fingers or hold your fingers. Simon says, touch your elbow. Elbow.
Here, y'all
Elbow,
here,
yeah.
so I can talk to you.
Simon says, touch your head again. Simon says, touch your shoulder. Simon says, touch your waist. Touch your head. Yes, you're out. Thank you, you're out. If everyone is out, oh, yes. Okay, this is how many people are remaining. Philip, are you sure you're not out? Are you guys sure Philip is not out? Okay, touch your waist. Out, Philip, out. Everyone. I think, okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so we have 2 people left. Let's see. What are we going to give the winners, you guys? We're going to give them a warm hug. I'm going to give them a warm hug. Okay, touch your head. Simon says touch your shoulder. Simon says touch your waist. Touch your head. Touch your shoulder.
Greetings,
Touch your
greetings, and
waist.
blessings,
Someone
family.
says touch your head.
This is Brother
Someone
Muhammad.
says touch your shoulder.
So
Someone
very
says touch
sorry
your
I was
waist.
not able to,
Touch your waist.
give an
Oh,
intro.
my God, this guy.
I guess things
There's
started.
no loser, there's no
as they
winner.
started,
Okay,
we
we're going to try one last
kinda
time.
get away
and
from
then
the
if they
noise
don't
here.
lose, then they won't win.
Thank you so much if you're joining in on this
someone
live.
said
Thank you
touch
so
your feet.
very, very much for your joining in
Touch your
on
head.
this live.
Touch your progress.
Kind of sprung it on you.
Okay,
we
we're
are,
done. You're both winners. Thank you so
At
much.
Ikawa Cafe.
Congrats for Miss
As you may
Natasha
already know,
and
my
Miss
wife has
Ophelia.
probably already
And Ron.
informed you and enlightened you on a
So,
number of things as to what's going on
the seed-
here at Ikawa Cafe.
The seed program.
But I'm not privy as to what she may have shared with you, so I may reiterate some things she had already said. Here at Ikawa Cafe, Here she comes. We here at Ikawa Cafe are hosting such a beautiful, beautiful event that was actually initiated, inspired, organized, and planned and executed by brilliant young Rwandese, brilliant minds. They come, they frequent Ikawa Cafe, and they saw it and deem it a place where other young minds and talent should and can come to be able to convene, socialize, network, all of that. And when it was presented, we thought naturally the idea was good because we want to be able to attract a young demographic. That's part of our target audience. And so we were excited at the fact that they wanted to be able to utilize our space to do all of these wonderful things of socialization and networking, progressiveness among these great young minds. And so they strategically and methodically came together and did not interfere at all. We let them plan and just structure everything. We didn't interfere not one iota.
And if you have boldness, you can grab a microphone and ask them. So we're going to invite our first speaker tonight, and it's Miss Natasha. Yeah. Okay, if you don't do it, I'm going to do it myself.
Well, I guess I gotta.
It's one of us.
So welcome,
We have
Miss
the next
Natasha.
guy that's going to speak.
Yeah.
They like her energy, so let's see what she got to say.
We trying to capture it. Yeah, so I'm gonna bring this in. I'll forego what I was saying, but we are here at the Ikawa Cafe, and we are privileged and humbled to actually have.
They'll be writing down more
this
that we're going
function.
to
So forgive us of the
ask
jangling
later on.
this organization. So let me turn this one.
Yeah.
Can we have a little music? Put something on. You got something. We got to get moving just a little bit.
Yeah.
Get the blood flowing. And it's just like, who's Natasha gonna serve? It doesn't even matter what you say. We're gonna get up, we're gonna move, because that gets the energy flowing. That gets you going. That gets you knowing you're sitting so close together, you may as well know your neighbor and just move just a little bit. No music. If you make me sing, it's gonna be over. But we're supposed to be here to enjoy ourselves, to learn. And in learning, when you enjoy things, it's like when you sing, you learn the words. And then you get the meaning behind it because you're enjoying it. You're happy with it. You're feeling it all in your soul. So let's get some movement. Let's get our soul going. Let's get up. Let's get up. Let's just move around. Who can sing? Who can beatbox? I don't care who it is.
Oh,
Where's the guitar?
No, he's coming.
He's coming.
That's something for you.
Oh, he has something for me. I wish John was here because I just move around. Who's going to teach me a dance that I don't know? But I'm like, we didn't need Natasha to do this, but that's okay. It's called improvisation.
What's good?
It's
From
also
last
called,
night,
you
no,
don't
I
have
didn't
to
do
do
anything
the same
popped
as
up.
someone else. You can move with me and have purpose. You gonna be my dance?
Ladies love Cool J. Gotta love us. Need more attention.
Summer State Dance, you guys.
Looking for that action. Got my name on the image. Now you coming to your senses. Need more attention. Need more attention. Say you looking for that action. Got my name on the image. Now you coming to your senses.
Do y'all see Miss Natasha, y'all? Oh.
What's up with a little menage? Now what's trouble with a little chicken? Two birds in the air. Yeah, I put it in the mouth. Carry that slim waist and flex. Face don't pay, so they can't say shit. Yeah, she get it, she get it on the
and feeding our soul. And the way I feed my soul, and the way I feed my attitude, and Celine can tell you, is I'll get out there and dance. It changes everything. I could be having the worst day ever. And then someone will play some music, and I'm like, yeah, And then everything is better. Because you shake out of everything that you've ever known and ever been taught. Because the seed comes off of the tree because of the movement of the wind and the rain and the weather. And a seed doesn't know it's a seed. A seed thinks it's a tree. So when it's planted in the ground, it becomes what it's supposed to be anyway, right? So then that's what you are. You are the seed, and you might be a little different. You might be the tree that's sitting next to the palm tree, but you're a pine tree. Like pine trees in Rwanda? What is that? But that's okay, because you're the pine tree that's supposed to give shade. It's supposed to give new life to someone else. So that's the kind of seed that you are. So I came up here a different kind of speaker. And I came up here making you move, but I bet you'll never forget me. You remember that crazy Natasha had me up here dancing, and then she's doing like this, off beat, but you'll never forget me. And see, whoa. And I'm just a little bit more loud and vibrant, so that you'll always remember the words that will come through and flow through. Because before I came here, I prayed for each and every one of you, before I even met you. And I said to the Creator, I said, just flow through me. So that dance, I didn't even plan on doing it, but you guys were so quiet and not moving. Don't be shy, be who you're supposed to be. If you're supposed to be an artist, do it. A lot of times people will tell you, I know she has questions for me. She's like, can I ask one second? But a lot of times, people will come along and say, well, you have to be an engineer. Because everyone is engineer, and that's where the money is, am I right? And a lot of times people will say, well, if you be the carpenter, the builder, that's where the money is, so that's what I have to be, am I right? And so you try to follow in someone else's footsteps, not realizing that you have feet of your own that can be the guideway for someone else. So there are times that you're not even supposed to follow the conventional and the path that someone else has made. You're supposed to create a new path and chart your own way, where others can come behind you. Because as I said before, a seed doesn't know it's a seed. A seed comes into the earth thinking that it's a tree, and knowing that it's a tree. So when you go along and you move in authority, and you start charting your own way, even if it's something that's in the arts, and the arts a lot. Because a lot of times that's looked down upon, like, how can you make money painting? How can you make money in music? How can you do that? But it's the arts that shows us that civilization was actually alive, that it was ever big. Everyone goes on archaeological digs. When I was younger, I dreamed of archaeologists because I saw all of the hieroglyphs in Egypt on television, and I was like, I want to be an archaeologist. I want to see those things. I want to see what life was like. But if it wasn't for the artists doing that, none of us would ever know. If it wasn't for the songwriter having these words in his heart, then there would be no book of Psalms. Because in the Bible, the book of Psalms is just a song that was in David's heart. That's right. You see, he co-signed that. David came right on in and said, she's telling the truth. You know what I mean? So that's what happens. So I say that to you. It may be unconventional what you're doing, how you dress, how you may even act. At first I was going to come in here with a nice, extra made dress and suit type thing. And I was like, let me grab my jean jacket so I can show people I can walk into any place dressed how I am and still be able to captivate an audience and show them who I am and show them the power of the Creator through me. So don't ever think that you have to walk in with a dress code at times unless it's required. But when there are times when you have to be the leader, the creator, the go-getter, the actual one who's charting the path, know that the who you are right now, again, the seed knew it was a tree before it was planted into the earth. So the who you are right now in this moment is the seed that is supposed to be the tree that's being planted into this fertile ground. So come on, go on and ask me a question. question. I know you want to ask a question. That wasn't even planned. But it was on my heart to say this to you. Because I know sometimes we come in here, we walk in fear. But know that you are supposed to be right here, right now, in this moment, in this place. And you don't have a need to be nervous or fearful or think that you're less than and I'm greater than you.
This is why
I am
I
great
can't hold it
because
no
of
more.
you. I'm great because of God's thought of you that allowed me to be here in this moment to meet you, because God thought you before you ever came into this earth, and He thought me and said, you need to be here at this time for them. So I'm great because of you. Okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna sit down. I'll be quiet.
But I think our microphone is on.
You can take this mic. I think I talk loud enough. Can you hear me?
Oh, I talk loud too.
Okay.
They said we don't need no mic.
So we have a few questions for you,
Okay.
and feel free to tell us what you think.
Okay.
First of all, well, you did introduce yourself with the dancing, right, guys? But still, who is Natasha Daniels? Like,
So Natasha Daniels was the little girl that was born in 1973, so I will be 50 next year. Natasha Daniels Muhammad is the woman that sits in front of you today, who's gone through all of the different tests and trials and gotten all of the learnings and incorporated it. So then I was given my Muhammad in 1997, and so I am Natasha Daniels Muhammad before you today. And that was the cosign, see?
and what do you do for a living? What are your expertise? Anything you want to tell us?
So for work, I'm a senior IT product manager. You're like, what? She's an IT and she'll get up and do all that? Yes. And I bring that to work as well. So I don't hide the who I am at work. So as I said, I have 4 development teams that I work with, 2 in India, 2 in the US, and then I'm here in Rwanda, the in-between. And so you all help to actually cause us to be here. So those of us who came from the US wanted to be here because of everything that's going on in Rwanda. And so I made the choice to come to Rwanda. Actually, it wasn't a choice. It was a purpose. And so I walked into that purpose. And it was either walk into your purpose or die. Because me not coming would be a death of my spirit. So I walked in purpose with my spirit, because my spirit was already here. My body needs to follow it. Have y'all ever seen movies of zombies and things like that? The Walking Dead? Yeah, that's how I would have been if I stayed in the US. So I came here. And now my example at work has allowed others to move to other countries and actually work somewhere in Korea, visiting their family, and just stay. So sometimes you have to do the unconventional to help others do it.
Awesome. We're honored that you're in our country.
I'm honored to be here.
We're honored that you're here. Honestly, your vibes. So learning about technology has become increasingly important in our modern age. And technology is literally everywhere.
Yes.
So I want to ask you, who or what inspired you to join the technology field?
My son and my bills. Those 2 things inspired me. As I said, I wanted to be an archaeologist, and when I was in university, I got pregnant. And so I had to find a way to feed my son. I couldn't take him all around the world to dig up, to find civilizations. And so what I did is I got a job. I actually got married, got pregnant with my daughter. And so on my job, they had this great new thing that came out called Microsoft Word and PowerPoint. You're like, what? But this is 1997, so everything was kind of new, the internet, all of that. So I taught myself. There was no YouTube. I just kept doing it and making a mistake. I would be at the mosque in North Carolina, in Greenville, North Carolina. I'm like, hey, I can make this flyer from a PowerPoint. And then fast forward, I just never stopped learning. I always wanted to learn and make more money because I had 2 mouths to feed. So I like to talk about how I had 3 jobs. I was learning IT, and so I started in customer service for a company that's well known, but I won't say their names on here. You gotta pay me for sponsorship. But I worked for a company in their customer service, but I would learn from the IT people and would talk to them because I would keep just trying. My second job was also, I learned how to build websites. So as I was learning on the job, they would send me to classes and I was like, yep. And so I would use it for myself to have more money because my bills kept coming. Then the third thing I did was DJ. What? Because I'm a child of hip hop.
Come on.
Yeah.
And so I came up in the time when you were breakdancing and we would be in class like, you know, doing all of that. That was when I came up. So I started DJing as well. And I would DJ small parties and sometimes even at the mosque.
That's right.
But I would DJ at parties to earn extra money. So I would learn all the latest songs. So that's what brought me into technology because you had to learn how to do the dials and all of that. But then on the IT side for work, they sent me to classes. I talked to people. I went to school for history. So it's the unbeaten path and the road less traveled for me that got me here.
Awesome, right, guys? She
Amazing.
was a DJ.
So your circumstances will help drive you to your purpose. Because my purpose isn't in IT. But the people I met along the way, because I was in that field, well, because I am in that field, I've been able to meet people, and they've been driving me towards my larger purpose. But it's out of necessity that I even came into that. Again, it was my baby and my bills that gave me the motivation to learn something new and to learn something that others in my family weren't doing yet and to push forward.
So what you do now, has it always been your dream job, or you just found yourself in it, or did circumstances, as you say, lead you to do what you do exactly today?
My job now is my dream salary. Okay? But it is, I love what I do, actually. I work long hours, so there are times when I'll be working, I'll start at 10 a.m. at times, and I'll work until midnight working on projects. So I don't do the coding, but a lot of times I have to document it, but I have to drive all the requirements. So let's say we were having this event. So I would say, we need this, and this, and I would actually write it all out, and then I have to draw some things out for them, and then they build it. And then I have to talk to all of the different areas of business. I have to talk to other vendors and customers. That's literally my job. So I have to translate what they're doing in tech and actually translate it out to the larger business. Or I have to take from the larger business and translate it into technical terms. So I have to do that with work. But no, the dream was to make a certain salary. And I almost left the company. It's like, I'm out. I'm not gonna make this salary. When I said I was out, it was a different plan. So then the head of the company, the CEO, had people talk to me. Why are you leaving? And I started saying why I was leaving. I was being honest. Because a lot of times we'll hide things and for fear. But when you act out of not having fear, the best thing can happen for you. So I said it. And then they were like, so if we offer you this, how much are they offering you? I put a little extra on it, just a little. And they offered me under it. But it was the actual salary that I wanted. Okay. And then they said,
Brilliant.
You never have to come into the office. Because that was another thing. The time I was driving an hour to work and an hour back home. I wanted to be home and work if it was freedom. Because I did some stuff on the side. I made candles and homemade soaps. I did a lot of things. And so they said, okay, you don't have to work in the office, work from home. Great. And then I sat and I was like, ooh, but that's a lot of money I'm turning down. And that's when the creator spoke to me and said, I have better for you. Take that money and stop being stupid. Because sometimes, me and the creator, we talk in terms where I will understand. And he was like, don't be silly. Do it. And so I took it. And then that's when the opportunity came where Adila said, why would you live in the U.S.? Put up a Facebook post. Why wouldn't you be here with people that look like you? And I was like, because the U.S. is home. And that's where, and I'm just going to stay here. Boom, God gave me a dream and gave me a dream of neighborhoods in Rwanda. All the way out to Bugesera. And I had that dream. And then, next thing you know, I said, I got to do it. And everything shifted in my world to allow me to move here. It took a year. I didn't even have a passport. And at the time, the passports in the U.S., it was 2020. So it took a long time for you to get your passport. So I waited a little while, and I got my passport. Came in 2 months. At that time, it was like 6 months. Came in 2 months. Because when you're doing what you're supposed to do, even though it's unconventional, because they're like, why would you leave the U.S.? You're finally making the money you want to make. You made your house the way that you wanted. You have all these things, your children, your grandchild, all of these things that you could want. But things mean nothing in the eyes of God, in the eyes of the Creator. I don't care your religion. It does not matter. Things mean nothing when you are placed here for a purpose. And so everything shifted and moved. And at one time I started to have a little bit of fear. And then boom, a situation came that caused chaos in my life. Because I decided to have fear. You all read your Bibles, right? Those that don't read your Bibles, you read your Quran. Those that do that, don't do that. You know Yoruba. But we all know that there's a moment where, when they talked about Jesus walking on water, there was chaos on the boat. And Jesus was like, and it was a storm, and everybody's in there like, oh no, what's happening? I'm getting sick. All these things, you're on the boat. It's moving around in the chaotic water. And Jesus went out and walked. And what did he ask them to do?
Be still.
What did he say? First he asked them to walk. One walk. Then got distracted. Boom. Almost drowned. That's what happened to me. I was walking, got distracted, almost drowned, got up, and then it was peace, be still. So then me coming here, everything else smoothed on out. So I say that to you guys. You ladies, I'm sorry, in the U.S. we say guys. I'm from the South also, I'll say y'all. You're like, what's the y'all? It means everyone, it's okay, right? But I say it to you. When you step into your purpose, it may seem like it's so difficult, and there are treacherous waters all around you, and nothing's ever gonna go right. Nothing's ever gonna work in your favor. But all you have to do is stand still in your spirit, which means being confident. And when you do that and you say peace, because you're calling on peace. You're calling on love, you're calling on joy, you're calling on hope, because all of that is part of peace. You're calling on abundance, because we live in an ever-abundant world, even though they try to make you think you have nothing. But you can tap into the abundance of everything. You're calling on all of that, and you're saying, be still. You're not telling yourself to be still, you're telling all the chaos to be still. Because at that moment, God is coming through you and telling you that you can calm everything around you. You don't need a gun, you don't need a lot of money, you don't need to scream, kind of like I'm doing right now, but you don't need to do all of that. You just put your hands out and say, be still. And everything will be still for you so you can walk on through. So you can make your way on through. So your dream can actually happen. Even when it says, take that extra money, and you're told, no, I'm going to take it, I'm going to get exactly what it is that I need because greater is for me. I couldn't see it at the time, but then I was given a vision. So, I'm sorry, you only asked one question. I done answered like 37,000.
Actually, you answered a lot of my questions right here. How do you handle your setbacks? And you talked about how in that time, long time ago, that happened to you. And I hope you guys have learned. What did you do in that moment?
And also allow yourself the moment to, I know Adila's like she's saying, but give yourself a chance to feel that emotion of the time. Don't feel as though like, oh, she had a setback, so she didn't cry. I did. But I give myself 2 days. 2. That's it. 2 days. And then I get up. And I allow what's supposed to happen. And I go through. And I move on forward. But that doesn't mean that you ignore the setback or anything horrific in your life that happened. When I was 13, my father was killed by a drunk driver. At 13. I allow that even still to flow through me, but to empower me. I got pregnant with my son when I was in university. I was supposed to go to another school to be an anthropologist. I allowed that sadness to happen, but then I moved forward. Now that I'm older, I give myself 2 days. I moved here. Everything was happening in the U.S. when I first moved here. So I sat on the step in the dark for 1 day, cried. Celine probably thought, like, what is wrong with her? I was sitting on the step. They thought I was working, but I was sitting there crying. But you allow it to happen. You go through that emotion and let it flow through and go out. You have to, because if you hold on to it, it sucks you in. So you let it out, and then you move forward because you just freed yourself. So sometimes you gotta shed that tear. You gotta say, it hurt, I hurt, this was painful. But then you shed it, and then you come out and you keep moving. You leave it back there where it was, and then you move forward. But you gotta allow yourself to release from it. So that's how I've gone through those setbacks.
Awesome. So, like, we wanted to get vulnerable so that people learn a lot. It's not just going to be about talking, which you have not been doing. You've been perfect. You've been listening, and you talked about how you handled your setbacks, and you wanted this certain amount of the light, and then to the light.
It's the sun. Just give me the light.
Talked about how you dreamt about your salary, right? And I would like to ask you, is just your salary now, could you describe it as success to you? Is it success? Could you describe it as a success?
It's monetary success. So it is. My salary is monetary success. I can't pretend, or as people say, I can't front on that. It is very much monetary success. However, it's what you do with it. Because we had layoffs at work. You know what layoffs are, anybody? Okay, it's when enough people didn't say yes. It's when you have a job, and then at one time, I'm sorry, this dress wants to make me slide, and I've been doing squats, so my legs were tired. So it's when you have a job, and then there's an economic situation that happens for the company. So at my company, it was 5% of the entire company was let go. So just like that, people lost their jobs. We all got into a meeting on a Friday morning, and we were told it was going to happen. And that evening, some of the people that I work with were no longer there, and I was just sitting there. And I was like, I don't know what to do. Let me go ahead and just keep doing my work. Until I got the call that, okay, Natasha, everything's okay with you. Which means, yes, it could be a dream salary, but it can go just like that. So what are you doing? So what I try to do with it is I moved here. Because in New Jersey, it didn't stretch as much as it does here. And then in coming here, I'm able to help others and sow into others. I'm able to sow more into my family. So again, remember I told you, a seed doesn't know that it's a seed. A seed believes that it's a tree. So I came out here with tree vision. Okay? I came out here thinking and knowing that with what I make in the U.S. and I'm bringing it to Rwanda, how can I make it spread further so that other trees can flourish and grow? So that other people can flourish and grow. So that there can be opportunities for other people. So yes, the salary that I make, it is a dream salary, But just like a dream, I can be snapped back into reality by work. So what do you do even more? How does it invest? The CEO of my company said to me, he was my mentor, he said, Natasha, how much money do you want to make next year? And I was like, I could say, I want to make $1 million. He said, okay, I'm going to give you $1 million ideas. We're going to keep talking. Because you have to speak it. And it's not about getting money and accumulating it. It's about what I'm doing with it, which is why he asked me. Because I talked to him about my life in Rwanda. He knows people's names. He's seen pictures. He's seen videos. Because I talk to people to help the dream become a reality. I don't keep it to myself. So I hope that was the answer to your question. But that's what I did.
Yeah. So you say you sound like you're content where you're at right now. Is it like a contentment? Are you happy where you're at right now?
I am. I'm happy.
Because I think sometimes people, when they face failure where they're at, or let's say you feel stuck, you kind of like, that's when like young people go to depression,
Yeah.
or drugs, all these other things. So I would like you to tell us something about specifically when you've strived to reach that place, and it's like it's gonna take long. Let's say you're trying to build, like, start a business as a young person, you don't have enough funds, all these things. Like, how do you manage to have that spirit? You sound like you're like, oh, this is not working. Yeah, I'm going to Rwanda. You know, you're like, you have this spirit. So what can you tell us? There are people who are like, I just have, let's say, 500 random flats. Those are in dollars. I don't know how much they are, but they're like, no, this will never help me. You know, like, how do you keep that positive spirit? You're like, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna achieve it.
So again, I told you I allow myself to feel what I feel, but I don't stay in it. Because there are times that I've stayed in it, right? Because I know depression is real. People have felt sadness, they don't speak about it, they just hold it in. I can tell you the time I took a bunch of pills and told God, if I'm supposed to be here, then you wake me up. So I took them. And I laid down. All they did was give me a good night's sleep because I got up. I knew I was supposed to be here. Because it felt like, you know how times you can feel like you're trying to swim but you're drowning? That's how I felt. Because my vision was limited. I was only able to see what was in front of me, and I didn't believe that greater was ahead of me. Because it's your thinking right now that drives everything else in the future. Right now, the decisions that you make in this moment, in your present, drives your presence in the tomorrow. Everything that you do. So yes, I did that. And I like being honest about it, because everybody thinks, oh, the elders have it all together, but we had to learn. We had to learn. We had to go through some things in order to get it. And still learning every single second. Still learning. So yes, you feel like, oh, I only have 500 francs. Well, guess what? You might have 500 francs. Right? So, come on, listen. Now we got 1,000 francs. You might have 500 francs. Come on, let's move on over here. All right, here we go. 1,500 francs. Uh-oh, what's happening? You have 2,000 francs. Come on. Look at how many we have now. So what was that? 1,500, now we're at 3,500? If you start coming together and moving together, then you look at the fact that I don't just have 500 francs anymore. We have 3,500. What are we going to do together? Y'all get what I'm saying? Because everybody looking. But do you get it? It's like, it's not about what you can do by yourself. I can't do anything by myself without the people around me pushing me through and helping me work. I can't even go over here by myself without the person coming to help me pick up my luggage. So we all have, see, I'm about to speak 2,000 francs to you right now. I don't know when you're going to get it, but you're going to get it. In about 2 days, you're going to get is coming. And even more. Even more. All of it. But if you work together collectively, that's how you build. Not individual. Individual can't do nothing but stand there by themselves. Completely. But it's the collective. It's like light. Light has to bounce off of other light molecules. Come on, let's bounce. Let's move. And that generates more light. So you need everyone. Everyone. Yo, we need you too. Come on in. How many francs do you have? All right, he has 5,000 francs. So now we have 8,500. See, it just came on. Look at God. Just walked right on in real smooth, right? Debonair with his 5,000 francs to give us 8,500 francs. Now we're really building something together. And that's what everyone here, each individual person is important to the collective puzzle. He's like, all I did was want to sit down in my chair. But you have a call on me. Come on in at this point. So thank you.
Yeah, awesome. She talked about being together. I have 500 running francs, but someone else has more, right? The other person has more. And that's how we grow each other. That's how we grow together.
That's how the nation grows.
Whoa, you guys, we have to learn, right? Because a lot of people, youth are broke. Let's be honest right here. We are unemployed, most of us, and also broke.
Let me tell you the thing about being unemployed and broke. First of all, stop saying that you're broke. Get that out your vocabulary. Don't even say it anymore. If you say it, I'm going to pop up in your, what did you say? No. Don't even say it anymore. At all. What you're supposed to do is, what you can do is, yes, your circumstances are your circumstances, but there's something around you that you can grow. There's something around you and something about you that someone else needs. The services that you bring forward. God don't make broke. Human life creates your brokenness. But out of the brokenness comes together and creates a mosaic of something else extra beautiful. So you're not broke. Sometimes your spirit can be a little broken, got a little crack. You get a little mortar and you seal it up. You understand? Because you're not broke. And then if you're unemployed, maybe you need to go ahead and create the business so you'll never be unemployed again. Because if you have your own business, you're your own boss. Only you can fire you. So create your businesses. Do it. There's something about you and all our people with our 8,000, we have 8,500 francs that we got together, well, we can create a business. So then you don't have to rely and go somewhere else. Start building it yourself. I don't care if all you can do is build a box. Maybe I want a box. You never know. Maybe I need that box in my house. And maybe this person has the nails, the other person has the wood, the other person has the hammer, and we all gonna get together and build this box that I'm gonna pay for. And now, what do y'all have? Your own business, and nobody is what? Broke. And nobody is broke. All right, I'm sit down. Y'all have more
Thank you,
speakers.
Miss Natasha. Thank you so much. You guys give her a run. We can just have some music. Let's have some music while we go.
Yeah, get some music. I need my theme music to walk out then, I guess.
Come on, guys. Hey, you guys are watching. Come on. Hey,
I'll keep dancing. Y'all let me out there. Woo!
yes, that's the vibe. Who saying that? Yeah, you deserve a chocolate. So it's awesome, right, you guys? I have basically learned a lot. I have been thinking about how can you start your own business? Who do I ask the money from? But we can actually come together, 500 Rwandan francs, and we build a business together. That is something to learn. And about her perseverance through the whole struggle that she went through. And she'd be like, I am going to achieve this no matter what. That is the key thing that I learned, right? And so, this is also another fun part that we're going to. And we're going to invite another speaker. Another speaker about relationships, you guys. Relationships. I mean, like relationships, right? We're going to be talking about love. This person is an expert, right? Are you guys ready, or you feel tired? Right? Write down your questions, and now let's go through the relationship phase. I am personally excited. Let me say some excitement, you guys. We struggle with relationships, don't we?
Yes.
We struggle with love and stuff. So we want to be vulnerable here and also learn about love. Miss Natasha just taught us a lot of important things, but we also need to learn about how to relate to each other. It's important for us to learn how to relate. So help me invite Mr. Sujira. Oh, come on, you guys. Maybe the DJ can help us with something. Yes, Mr. Sujira. My God, you guys, thank you, DJ. I followed you on YouTube, and you have a lot of encouraging things, encouraging words when it comes to relationships. You guys, you don't know. Do you know him? Go on YouTube, search Mr. Sujira. Wait, what's the name for Hubert Sugira, and other name you will know? Yes, Atilikman. You guys, we need to learn so that we can be able to win over the trials and tributes of this world, right? Go learn from him. So we're gonna ask him some questions as well. Oh yes, what is this? Oh yes, we need another microphone. I am louder. Yes,
I am louder. Like Miss Natasha. So, we're going to ask you more about relationships. If that's okay with you.
That's good.
Okay, so, Mr. Sudhir, describe to us what is a relationship. Because I feel like actually the brokenness in relationships or even in marriage stems from the fact that people don't actually know what a relationship is. Relating to each other, what does that mean? What is a relationship?
A very good question. First of all, my name is Hubert Sugira from Rwanda, and it's very challenging to come after the amazing Natasha, because the energy, the vibes, it's amazing. Thank you very much. I thought I was crazy until she says that she moved from US to live here in Rwanda.
Yes.
I just moved back from Canada, and I thought it was crazy. I thought it was the crazy one. And I asked her just a few minutes here, and she said she moved because of purpose. It was encouraging to me because I moved because of purpose, but I was moving back home. So it was not as crazy, as challenging as she was, but here she is showing us how it's done. And before I even get into the relationship part, let me just tell you guys, stick around these kind of people. Do not take for granted what she's doing here, because some of the great businesses that this country have never seen may be sitting with you in your chair, but you just needed to be in the right environment. We're talking about what? Seeds. If you put a mango seed, can we imagine a little bit together? Imagine I have a mango seed in my hand, right? A mango seed. What do I have? What do I have in my hand?
A tree.
I have what in my hand?
A tree.
A mango tree. Someone else? Mangoes. Okay, fruits. Someone else? A business. Someone else? So this is what I have in my hands. I have a mango forest. have a mango seed that has a tree in it, and that tree has mangoes on it, with seeds in those mangoes. And if we keep going, you can have a mango forest, which is a business. What kind of business do we have here? We have fruit business, juice business, we have, what else? Exploitation. We have, what do we do with those trees? When we cut them, what do you do with them? Have limber. You can do a lot of things with one seed. But, if I take that one seed and I put on this floor, for the next 500 years, it will still a mango seed. So sitting in your chair, there is a seed, but that seed is nothing if not in the right environment. And I have to congratulate you guys for this environment you're setting for seeds to germinate. When I got your invitation, the first thing I saw was excellence. And when I walked in, I was like, this is the right place, with the right people, with the right mindset, with the leader you have. You can flip this nation, no. You can flip this continent like nothing ever done before. So I want to encourage you, do not let God send people from outside to tell us what we got when we are here. A lot of young people are trying to move, to go to the US, to get to Europe. So let me ask you a question tonight. She was born in... I left here when I was 20 years old. Why in the world am I moving back 20 years later? She said, we'll be getting into relationships. But let me tell you why I'm telling you all of this. Relationships do not make any sense if you haven't discovered your purpose. I cannot assume, I'm going to tell you about relationships and assume you know what I'm telling you now. Relationship or not, you are born to do something in your generation. And that purpose does not depend on where you are. It depends on what is new. Either in US or in Kigali. When you discover your purpose, when you discover your why, when you discover why you are breathing now, it does not matter where you are currently, what is your location. Discover what is your seed. Oh, have you ever seen God never tells anyone to be seedful? He tells you to be fruitful. That means the seed is already planted inside of you. Just find what your seed is. And then, that's where we get relationships from. When you discover what your seed is, do not be shy. Questo è tu, Maria. Questo è tu, Maria. Because I'm flowing with her, but you know, we do not have. Okay. I'm comfortable here, so that's always good with me. So this is what I was saying. Find your seed. Then once you find what your seed is, you're going to understand the environment you need. Do you know why we're going to talk about coffee, Ikawa. Do you know why we have the best coffee in the world? Because of the environment we have, because of our mountains. You cannot grow every seed, or each seed has its ideal environment. That's why once you discover your seed, then you have to understand what is the ideal environment for your seed to germinate, to grow, to bear fruits. And that's why you get your relationships from. My seed needed the environment of my wife to become all it was created. Relationships we're talking about is not only romantic relationships. Do you know we have 7 basic or fundamental relationships? The first relationship is a relationship with your Creator. We're talking about seeds. If you uproot a plant, a tree, from the soil, the source, it's going to die. You do not have to kill it. And for those, I believe, we started with the prayer, so I would assume most of you guys read the Bible, have some kind of relationship with the Bible. When God was creating the earth, He spoke to the ground. Let the ground bring forth the plants. That's why that was the source of plants. He spoke to the source to bring forth the things. That's why plants need to stay grounded for them to bring forth fruits. Then He spoke to the waters to bring forth fish. You remove a fish from the water, what happens? You do not have to kill it. It will die. Because everything has to stay attached to its source. Where am I going? What do you think you're coming from? What is your source? If you are a fruit of monkeys evolution, then you will have to stay attached to monkeys. That's your source. I'm not telling you what your source is, but whatever you believe your source to be, you have to stay relating attached to that source. If you believe it's God, that's your number one relationship you need to have. Find what your source is. Everything comes from somewhere. There's nothing that comes of nowhere. Am I right, sir? Nothing. Nothing. If everything we see has a source, how about the sophisticated person you are? So find what your source is and have that relationship. That relationship number one. Now, once you have the right relationship with your source, you need the right relationship with yourself. Relationship number 2. You have to understand who you are. That's why you have to discover your seed. Discovering who you are is discovering what is this unique thing you have brought in your generation. Then when you have that relationship, then you will move on the family relationship. Your siblings, where you were born. Now, among that relationship, family, you need to discover your relationship with your spouse. Your spouse is the only family member you pick yourself. Nobody chooses where you're born. You're not. They did not consult you. But God said, let me give you a chance to pick the most important relationship you will ever have, and that's your spouse. That's on you. Now, your spouse is supposed to come because you have discovered your seed, and this is the person who can help you bring forth that tree in you. Marriage will either make or break you. these are relationships you have to master to make it in life. Then you have to master the relationships with your acquaintances. Acquaintances are just people you meet. Everyone here you have never met is acquaintance. Just someone you just say hi. I always tell people, she said something very good. I always tell people, your blessings, God's blessings in your life will travel at the speed of the relationships. You are as well as your relationships. Before I came here, I was watching Meghan and Prince Harry story. How they met. Do you guys know how they met? Meghan was attending Wimbledon tennis tournament, and a friend of Harry had a picture of Meghan. You see these filters on some of these Snapchat with doggy nose, and that was the picture. And just a friend of Henry, Prince Henry, was just looking at it, and he saw it. And I was like, oh, who's that? That picture, do you guys imagine that picture with a doggy nose, and then he was interested. And that person happened to know Meghan. And Meghan said, the guy, did not tell who Henry was. He was the guy, who's interested in you. And then that friend just told Meghan was that one of the handles of Henry, which was not just pictures and his nicknames. And on those pictures, it was just pictures of trips in Africa. She did not go to Google who Henry was. She just showed pictures, not of him. There was one or two pictures of him. It was just elephants, paysage, all of these nice things. And she was like, the person who takes these kind of pictures, the person who does not post himself, must be something grounded. All I'm saying is this. There was a person who knew Meghan and Henry. That person is who is making us talking about this story today. So if you do not understand that the people, a greater, you go to the bank, you drive, riding a motorbike, and this person may be the link to your next breakthrough. You will miss it. All I'm saying is, do not just sit down here and go back home without at least asking your neighbor, the person who's sitting next to you, what is your name? What do you do? You never know. Maybe what you're praying for is not just next to you. Only one person got this. So that's a type of relationship a lot of people ignore. Then there's professional relationships. This is a different kind of relationship. This one is only based on contract. Do not go into business with your friends if you do not have a contract. They say here, it will end in tears. So these are the basics, foundational relationships you need to master. So it's not just, when we talk about relationship, do not just think about your spouse, think about your girlfriend, your boyfriend. That's very limited. Maybe people are struggling with these relationships because they do not know how to master all other types of relationships. Yeah. Oh, there is the last one, friendship. The most important relationship. The person to become your, do you know how I met my wife? At the airport. I was giving a ride to a person who was going to see her at the airport. The first encounter was an acquaintance. Hi, nice trip. How was your trip? That was it. Little did I know, 20 years later, she will be the ground to germinate my seeds. What I'm saying is, if you do not master acquaintances relationships, I don't know why I'm stressing on this one, because maybe people, maybe someone here needs to hear this. Do not write off hope. You never know who's this guy right there, what he's carrying that you will need in 10 years. And when he's serving you coffee, you acting as if you have met. Respect people. Honor people. The history we have in our country, a lot of us are still breathing because they help us in our houses. When everyone was coming to kill us, they say, no, I'm going to take you when we are still kids. That's why we are still here. Abakozi bo mu rugo nibo baduhishe. Mwemwe muracyari bato nawe. Wa wundi ubwira gushyushya amazi ku musozi. What I'm saying is, relationships is just to treat people how you want to be treated. Yeah. That's it. You want to know what a relationship is? It's just treat people. Everyone. We are now 8 billion. Everyone has something you need. And the only way to get what people have you need is relating to them. So that's what I call relationship. Relationship is just to treat people the way we want to be treated. Oh no, let me correct myself. Relationship is want to be treated how you treat people. You know, we keep telling people, treat people how you want to be treated. No, you're going to be treated how you treat people. You see, that's why a lot of people are trying very hard to make relationship work when they're expecting without putting into the ground. What you put in is what you get back. I think you contaminated me. They asked the man a question, now it's in 1 hour. So it's on you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so that's what I would say about relationships.
Yeah, I think you just like wrapped up everything. You know, you used that like how I talked about. So I don't think we'll be able to like ask all the questions that we prepared. We had a lot to ask you. I think what we talked about is really, really more important.
That's probably what you need.
Yeah, that's probably what we needed. Valuing other people. Man, that's like something you have to learn. Because sometimes you see a person that is serving you good food and you're like, yeah, they're just people who can just serve me, you know. But those people are also important and you never know what they could do.
Even in that moment of serving, let's decide tonight to make everyone we meet feel good.
Yeah, right.
Because they are. It's not, you're not making them feel. Start thinking everyone. Everyone. 8 billion today. Everyone is important. And when you become an environment to germinate other people's seeds, and you're setting yourself to be germinated. Let me end up here. Maybe one second. We're talking about business. You say that a lot of young people do not have jobs, they are broke. You're not broke. You just lack imagination. You are lazy. Let me tell you. Find something you can do. And find at least one person who needs it. And volunteer. Do it for free first. Money is a result of a solution you give to people. But you will not be paid until you master your craft. But you cannot master your craft until you volunteer. But you think you have a little gift and you start asking people to pay for it. You haven't mastered nothing, so why don't you want to pay them? Find people, find 5 people who needs what you know. A business is simply find a problem and provide a solution. That's it. All of that through relationships.
This is lovely, you guys. I wish I would have wrote down everything. So I was just eager to ask more, and I did write down, but I've got a lot. And well, you cannot ask all these questions, but I just wanted to list them down in case you want to do like another video on YouTube. We'll all be waiting, right, guys?
Right.
So I'm just gonna give you like a picture of what we wanted to ask. It was more about romantic relationships, but I think you cleared it in a way that is actually more important.
Yes.
And I'm just gonna read them through, and if either of you has the same question, you could just ask it. Yeah. It says, first one was to describe what a relationship is. And, then what do you think is the main motivation in a boy's or a girl's mind when pursuing for a relationship? And what is the main purpose in their mind?
I hope that one is clear.
What is
The
it?
purpose should be to find someone who is the right ground for your seed.
Yeah.
Marriage is for your purpose, boys. Marriage is not for having fun and having kids. That's a result. But the purpose of marriage is to find a person who will help your seed to become the tree. That's vice versa. You become the environment, you become the ground for that person, and that person is the ground for your seed. So before you think about romantic relationship, find your seed. And the choice of the how, Mr. Right, how do I find this person? All those questions in one answer will be answered. Because each seed needs a different ground, different environment. Once you find your seed, it's very easy to know, oh, this is not the right ground for me. In agriculture, when you're going to plant beans, it's going to be different. The environment, what beans needs to germinate is different from what coffee, Ikawa needs. That's why you have to discover your seed. I was excited because of this topic. The seed. Very interesting. So that's the answer.
Yeah. So the next one is not enough to sustain.
Okay, family. We're going to, as you know, as you can see, this is going on, and so we're going to conclude it for now because it's going to go on a while. What it is that we're going to bring off and share, and we are grateful and thankful to you for joining in on this live. It was kind of,
Impromptu.
spontaneous.
That's fundamental.
But as you know, as we always say, we always want to bring in on the experience that we are having. And we wanted to highlight, not so much Ikawa Cafe, we wanted to highlight the brilliance that is presented here at Ikawa Cafe.
Give me 1 minute and I explain to you what
and how they're soaking up and
a
absorbing
woman is an incubator.
this good stuff. It's really good stuff. So,
A woman's
out of
womb
Muhammad's, the message
is
of
different
Flores,
from
And
man's
tomorrow we're
womb.
going live.
That's why
Speaking
she's
with,
called
the
a
other
womb man.
Expats.
and that was planned.
That was planned.
A woman
Tomorrow,
is a man with a womb.
5
A
o'clock,
womb
Rwanda
has the
time.
ability.
So
Anything
that's
you
about
put
10
inside,
o'clock your
you
time.
bring it
We'll
fly.
be
That's
going
why you
live
put one
with
sperm
other
inside.
expats
you get a baby.
round table discussion on
So when you have sex with a
life
person,
in Rwanda.
Right. So you
guys,
I don't know if I say it
when you
round,
have
but
sex with
here's
a
another
person,
perspective.
you giving in, not
So
just
we're gonna
from.
conclude
You give
Five to
in
Africa, living
your
in Africa.
bigger. You giving
Please, if you
in
will,
the
subscribe,
potential to sustain your life.
like and share.
If that person leaves you,
Providing something
guess
that is
what?
good,
He leaves you
for
with your
you,
stuff.
and we were unable to really make response to the comments, but we will.
And we hope to see you there, Brother Wendell.
Yeah, that's my dude, man.
But
I
the
love this
women,
brother. He's always there.
you
Trying
are
to build
living
us up,
with
man.
his stuff.
Give me hope and inspiration.
You're spoiling your environment.
So we're going to
Let me
conclude this
explain
live
to
here.
people who has
And
some
thank you for joining in. And for those we had not responded to whatever comments, we will do that.
Just a minute, second. Let me explain to you what happened to you women.
Tomorrow on the live.
Do you guys understand
Yeah.
that when the ground
That's
is
it.
being used,
All right.
loses its natural ingredients? That's what you need. That's why you need to put it into
I'm
fertilizer.
sorry, guys. I need to know how to.
Because every time you put something into the ground is losing life.
Okay.
So men are losing their potential.